How's it going, everyone? Jimbo Slice here. Welcome to the Bostonian Wrestling Watch podcast. I am your host, Jimbo Slice. Welcome. Today, I am not with my friends Matt and Bobby because they unfortunately could not make the show. So let's get on with the topic. Let's see. So this was a pretty good wrestling week overall. We had quite a few events. We had Super Showdown live in Saudi Arabia. We had SmackDown, AEW, Monday Night Raw, NXT. Everything went on this week that was built up for live events such as AEW, Revolution. We got Wrestlemania coming up. We got NXT TakeOver Tampa. We got every single show we've been looking for. It's coming up. We got AEW Revolution live tonight for the matches. That match card is stacked. So let's get on with the topic. So a few questions I have to answer today is, number one, why Goldberg won the Saudi Arabia match against The Fiend. So, honestly, my opinion on this match, I'd probably rate it. It wasn't that good. It was only 4 spears, 1 jackhammer, and it wasn't even a full jackhammer. It's kind of like a suplex, and it kind of finished off The Fiend within just a couple minutes, and I didn't like it. I'd rate the match, probably 2 out of 10. It wasn't really that good, wasn't really entertaining. The winner overall, I can see why Goldberg won for a lot of reasons. They didn't want Roman Reigns to get the smoke like he did back in 2015, 2014, 2016, back in his early years. They didn't want Roman Reigns to get the smoke for capturing the title against The Fiend at WrestleMania. Instead, they had given the smoke to Goldberg for a lot of reasons, because Goldberg, I feel like they chose Goldberg to save Roman Reigns because they're trying to push Roman Reigns, give him, that mentality of the big dog back, just like he used to. I feel like Goldberg was a pretty smart choice by Vince McMahon and all the creative writers. I think that, honestly, Roman Reigns will definitely pull off a win against Goldberg at WrestleMania. Just as we found out that Roman Reigns is expecting to win against Goldberg at WrestleMania just because he won. He's going to win the Elimination Chamber. So yeah, that's why pretty much Goldberg had won against The Fiend at Saudi Arabia. Super Showdown this past Thursday. Another topic was answered last night on Friday Night SmackDown was Cena versus The Fiend. Cena had returned home to Boston, Massachusetts, announcing that WrestleMania would not be, this year's WrestleMania would be better off without him. He's kind of made it clear that it was almost a farewell goodbye for now, but it wouldn't last long until The Fiend would come out right when Cena was waving goodbye up on the stage. The Fiend came out. He was pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and it kind of was hinting towards a match between Cena and The Fiend at WrestleMania, and John Cena had lifted down his John Cena cap and made it clear that it was official. The Fiend versus John Cena at WrestleMania 36. What a way to build up a nice feud ever since their match at WrestleMania 30 6 years ago. I feel like this match will be a very good match because it also builds up The Fiend's potential. It builds up his character more ever since his loss against Goldberg at Saudi Arabia. I think this match will honestly be one of the matches of the night at Tampa. Great match on the way. Another topic I'd like to cover is Beth Phoenix confronts Randy Orton this Monday. Now, I feel like, personally, this will turn into a Randy Orton and Stephanie McMahon situation. I think Randy Orton will do some sort of sick and twisted, move against Beth Phoenix. Ever since he tried attempting to break Edge's neck a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, Edge hasn't returned to any WWE live events ever since. Randy Orton, I think, will definitely add to his and Edge's storyline building up to their WrestleMania match. I think this confrontation will honestly build up, their hype for their match, because possibly Randy Orton will, obviously apologize to Beth Phoenix, and, Beth Phoenix will most likely not accept, and I feel like that's when Randy Orton will strike against Edge's wife, and that will bring more momentum to their feud, building up to WrestleMania. And I heard rumors that Edge is going to be there next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, but next Monday, the Monday after Elimination Chamber. It is rumored that Undertaker and Edge will both be on the same Raw next Monday. And Randy Orton will definitely, that promo will definitely cause more tension to their feud building up to WrestleMania. Now, I don't think there was a stipulation added to the Randy Orton versus Edge match at WrestleMania. I honestly think that it will be some sort of Extreme Rules or no holds barred match. I think that their rivalry, goes a long way back, ever since they won the tag team championships a couple years ago, almost nearly a decade ago, more than that. I think that Randy Orton and Edge were basically brothers back in the WWE back then. And I think this storyline has been very personal, and that's what makes it so good. So let's move on to the next topic. Moxley versus Jericho for the AEW Championship. And that's taking place tonight at AEW Revolution. That match, I feel like, is going to be an absolute bloodbath, because, AEW has been formerly known, on my opinion, for using more blood content, because I think that, yes, Chris Jericho had gotten stitches on his, I think it was right side or left side of his face, right near his nose, because Moxley had attacked Chris Jericho this past AEW night. I honestly think that promo was definitely the way to leave off on AEW Dynamite for their match tonight live. And I think my opinion on who's going to win that match is honestly Chris Jericho. I feel like the Inner Circle will interfere in that match. We also got a lot of good other matches live tonight at AEW Revolution. We also got Cody Rhodes versus MJF, Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager. We got, that match card. All AEW Revolution's match card is stacked, and honestly, it's definitely going to be a great event. The next topic is AJ Styles versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania, possibly confirmed, because The Undertaker, this past Thursday night, Undertaker had won the trophy against AJ Styles in the gauntlet match between R-Truth, Bobby Lashley, Andrade. Rey Mysterio was supposed to be in it, but that's when Undertaker had attacked the OC after the OC attacked Rey Mysterio, and that's what brought out the Undertaker. The Undertaker had finished AJ off with a choke slam, and he still wore his outfit in the ring. I thought it was just a awesome way to kick off their possible WrestleMania feud. I feel like that match will be a must-see come Tampa, Florida. AJ Styles is definitely one of the top superstars in the business, on my opinion. Undertaker is definitely one, if not the legend that is definitely one of the faces of the company. I feel like that match will also bring a lot of potential for their characters in the business. I feel like that match is going to live up to its hype, honestly. Back in NXT, we got Charlotte versus Bianca Belair. Charlotte, I'd rate that match, 5 stars out of 10. I mean, 5 stars out of 5 stars. That match was unbelievable. I loved it. Charlotte had finished off Bianca Belair with a spear, and then Rhea Ripley had came out and looked Charlotte in the eyes from the stage. Their match at WrestleMania for the NXT Women's Championship, I feel like that match is going to definitely be one of the better matches of the night. I feel like Charlotte Flair has a lot of potential coming into Tampa, WrestleMania 36. Rhea Ripley as well. Charlotte has never beaten Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley was one of the sole survivors for the NXT Women's Survivor Series match back at Survivor Series a couple months ago. I feel like that match is definitely going to live up to its hype as well. Now, we also found out last night on Friday Night SmackDown that it is potentially going to be rumored that Roman Reigns is going to fight Goldberg for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Now, I think that this match will definitely be a interesting match. Roman versus Goldberg, these two stood face-to-face a couple years ago on Monday Night Raw, both spearing Braun Strowman in the middle of the ring. I feel like these two guys are one of, probably, if not one of the greatest performers in the ring, on my opinion. I do not agree with the fact that Goldberg won against The Fiend. I feel like it should have been The Fiend as Universal Champion versus John Cena. I feel like that match would have been a lot better than just The Fiend versus John Cena, but we are lucky enough to get John Cena fighting at WrestleMania 36 in Tampa. I think that Roman Reigns and Goldberg, just going at it with no belt on the line, I feel like that match would still be as good as if Goldberg wasn't the champion. Now, Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, my thought on that match is definitely on Roman Reigns. I feel like he's going to be a 2-time Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is definitely going to, be one of the bigger faces of the company. Nowadays, I feel like currently Roman Reigns is going to be building up his character once he wins the Elimination Chamber next Sunday. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg at WrestleMania, I think Roman Reigns is going to win. Now, I've got the question of this podcast. Will WrestleMania keep true to its hype? Now, there's a lot of yes and no's to this question. I feel like yes, it will live up to its hype because not only do we get stacked cards matches, but we also get a stacked NXT Tampa takeover as well the night before. And I think that honestly, WrestleMania has a lot of stacked matches, such as Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. We got Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship. We also got Undertaker versus AJ, John Cena versus The Fiend. We've also got Bayley possibly fighting against Sasha Banks or Naomi or Carmella, possibly a fatal 4-way. I don't know. We will find out sooner rather than later. We've got a lot of matches at NXT TakeOver Tampa that could possibly happen, such as a triple threat, Adam Cole, Gargano, Ciampa. I think that match will, if it does happen, I feel like that match will definitely be match of the night for that TakeOver. We've also possibly got, I don't know if Rhea Ripley would be fighting at NXT TakeOver because she is fighting the night after at WrestleMania against Charlotte. I don't know if she's going to be competing both nights. That is a good question. We will also find that out sooner than later. And I think that WrestleMania 36 will definitely be one of the better WrestleManias that were well known. I think that Roman Reigns and Goldberg match will probably be one of the least liked matches because, these two guys have been pushed constantly by Vince McMahon. And I think that people are honestly getting tired of on my opinion, these two guys being pushed, and they'd rather see more newer guys win the title rather than some of the older guys. But that's my opinion. And so will WrestleMania keep true to the hype? I feel like yes, it will. So I'm sorry that Matt and Bobby couldn't make the podcast. This was kind of last minute, and I apologize. Next week, we will be answering who will win all of the Elimination Chamber matches coming up. So you don't want to miss that. And thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Love all my fans. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.